My granny smokes the cocaine just like she used to do. So I figured I would hook her up and make a buck or two. It's been almost 2 weeks now, I have not seen a dime. So I called her up this morning and she handed me this line. She said, "Boy, have you learned your lesson yet? Never do business with your family, you'll live to regret. Boy, don't you know this much by God? Granny can't afford to smoke no rock. Boy, have you learned your lesson yet? Never do business with your family, you'll live to regret. Boy, don't you know this much by God? Granny can't afford to smoke no rock.
Slacking up places, coming through, motherfuckers. Oh, well, fuck you. Fuck me, oh no. With a drink in hand, you fucking drunk, you'll go straight to jail, you know you will. So give them hell, you fucker, you. Grab your tickets and pack your bags. Grab your things, no time to lag. The fuck you say, hey, hey, just don't be gay. Cause we'll play that shit. Off, it's now or never. Here we come. With a drink in hand, you're fucking drunk, you'll go straight to jail, you know you will. So give them hell, you fucker, you. Grab your tickets and pack your bags. Grab your things, no time to lag. The fuck you say, hey, hey, just don't be gay. Cause we'll play that shit. Hi-ho, hee-ho, let's all go. The smacking off is now or never. Here we come. Hi-ho, hee-ho, let's all go. To smacking off, it's now or never. Here we come. Ha-ho, hee-ho. Fuck you. Fuck me. Oh no. With a drink in hand, you fucking drunk, you'll go straight to jail. You know you will. So give 'em hell, you fucker, you. Grab your tickets and pack your bags. Grab your things, no time to lag. The fuck you say, hey, hey, just don't be gay. Cause we'll play that shit. Hi-ho, hee-ho, let's all go. The smacking off is now or never. Here we come. Hi-ho, hee-ho, let's all go. To smacking off, it's now or never. Here we come. Hi-ho, hee-ho, let's all go to smacking off. It's now or never. Here we come.
Me walked in with a joint, I could tell that you were high on some resin. A real pop smoker, good deal, well refined. You look like that stuff blew your mind. So let me get right to the point. I don't flip with normal passive smoke, I breathe. Hey pot smoker, smoke a little pot with me. Bouncing, those donkey balls looking for a place to land. Bouncing left and bouncing right, looking for a stupid grin. Open your mouth, 'cause here they come. You're a dead man walking, 'cause they don't want you no more. Your coaching skills are suspect, and your wife's a street walking whore. Oh, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing right, looking for
Those donkey balls are hanging low. Those donkey balls, they're not for show. Why wait, suck 'em dry, then go to the corner and cry. When the donkey balls come bouncing, there just ain't nowhere to hide. Grab 'em up and suck 'em dry. Now every time someone hears a loud thud, your team's lost donkey balls. They play like Mongoloids. You might be fired by Monday, and your wife is a street whore.
You're a dead man walking toward the unemployment line. Dead man walking. Those donkey balls, they bounced upon your chin. And now it seems so likely you may never win again. You're a dead man walking toward the unemployment line. Dead man walking. Those donkey balls, they bounced upon your chin. And now it seems so likely you may never win again. You're a dead man walking toward the unemployment line. You're smooching donkey balls, those wrinkled, hairy donkey balls. You know you do. You know it's true. You're smooching donkey balls, those wrinkled, hairy donkey balls. You know you do. You know it's true. You're smooching donkey balls, those wrinkled, hairy donkey balls. You know you do. You know it's true.
He would be so scared to see me.
Everybody thinks we was doing this shit, doxing motherfuckers. Nah, they came at us first.
I got a fire raging in my front yard.
Oh, why did you set your front yard on fire? Are you drinking here?
Slacking off the podcast. Fuck your city, your boss. Because fuck authorities. Slacking off the
the podcast. Fuck your team, dog bombs, your columns, torture toilet beat.
Smacking off the podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast.
What's going on, Bob?
Not a lot, man. What's up with you, homie G?
Not much. I think I'm going to start adding people and testing mics, right?
Yes, I'm going to make one little shout out first to Hunter Gordon Dorsky, right, who's in the hospital with heart trouble. We hope for a speedy recovery.
That's what I was hearing, Bob. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I read about it the other day. I don't know the extent of it, but Bruce, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. All right, let's go to the next person. Hold on. Ed, can you hear us?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Nikki.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you
Sean.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening, everyone.
Well, everybody's here then.
All right. And today on Smacking Off the Podcast, the entire cast is present, and we may yet have a visit from Clemson Dane and possibly Landon Beeman. Am I right about that?
That, and we've and Bruce comes on a lot. He's almost a regular.
Yeah, he's the old friend of the show, man.
I'm sorry I missed last week, which was probably the most excitable I've been in a long time because of a certain person's.
Oh, yes.
What was that? I'm
Well, I just felt just because, Washington doesn't want to backdoor into a national championship and get one. Okay, and that's my opinion. But there again, they need to be punished a hell of a lot harder than what they were punished. They got
Michigan.
All right, let's go ahead and get this up. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way, guys.
All right.
There's nothing, that was my opinion upon it.
All right, let's get opinions. And Sean wasn't here last week either, so
yeah.
We've got to hear Sean's opinion on this. Yes, Sean, I want you to share your opinion of the NCAA's punishment of Michigan. I've got to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with Bruce. It's basically toothless. The show cause. Jim Harbaugh is not coming back. We know that. He's in the NFL as long as he can be in the NFL. The Netflix star that was the mastermind behind this nefarious activity, which parallels what the Houston Astros did, and there's a reason people don't look kindly onto the Astros for how they won that World Series. Is gone, and he's laughing about it, and it's a big check Michigan has to write, but they other than that, what's it matter? That there's no vacating of wins. So the NCAA did, they've basically said we're out of the big time football business with this decision, and it's created a slippery slope, letting other things. I mean, I don't think you'd have the impetus for Auburn to rush out and claim 7 national titles like they did the other day without this sort of decision. Albeit the irony of that is they're using the decision that the NCAA is a toothless organization to then say, well, we're going to use the NCAA recognized selectors for this decision. So it's created a slippery slope of a bunch of things that need to happen now because of this decision. On top of that, the funniest thing I remember is after it was either after Michigan's Rose Bowl win or after they beat Washington. I'd have to go back and look. But, the integrity talk that Jim Harbaugh gave, pounding his fist on the desk and absconding the media, this is a very, integrity run program and organization. It's laughable, and it's quite laughable if you're wearing a 2023 Michigan national champ, because we all know you didn't have integrity to win it. You cheated. And most fans, there's a lot of ways to win games in any sport, but the one thing most people actually give, even in this day of NIL and transfer, is winning it the right way. And this clearly wasn't the case, and anyone that's justifying it is a homer, or they just don't care, and so that's just the fact of the matter. And so if someone's out and about wearing their 2023 Michigan National Champion, you just look and laugh at them.
Now, part two of that is the new challenge that's going to come, Sean and everybody else, is that now that everybody's challenged everything the NCAA should have power to do, right? The only real power the NCAA has this minute is in terms of eligibility, and I believe that'll be challenged immediately as soon as the eligibility ruling comes up. And before they've challenged individual eligibility, but I believe now legally they will challenge the NCAA's ability to strip eligibility. Would y'all agree with that?
Absolutely. They've already kind of lost in that court with
It's watered down right now.
With the ruling last year with the wide receiver from Tennessee. They tried to say he was ineligible and they challenged it in court and lost. So, they're completely toothless. If they had any sort of respect, they'd go back and apologize to some of the number one, first and foremost, to be SMU for basically ruining their program for things that now they wouldn't cause anyone to bat an eye.
Exactly. Real quick, Ed, did you say all you wanted to say on this the other night, or do you want to come back on this?
I have a little bit to say. So first of all, we got off easy. I know that. Now, I understand why some people are pissed. What I don't understand is why people are surprised. And I remember others on the show and not on the show and elsewhere predicting that there would be a vacating of wins in the Natty. And as much of a fan as I am, I consider myself somewhat objective. It just never felt like that was what was going to happen. So I get the outrage. I don't get the surprise.
Well, no one's surprised, Ed. The arrogance
some people are surprised
out there is really piss poor. I don't care how you cut it. You just can't run around saying, "Well, we're immune to any penalty."
I'm not saying that there were some people on the show that were predicting that the Natty would be vacated. That's a fact. And
nothing ever came out of my mouth.
We're not above naming names. We'll name names. Alex Bryan, friend of the show, big Buckeye. He predicted that. And maybe the rest of us didn't predict it, but we certainly suggested that is the punishment that should fit the crime. Are we shocked it didn't happen? Of course not, because the NCAA has been losing hand over fist everywhere they've turned in the last 5 to 10 years.
It's really been a while, Sean, and we were talking about this the other night. I feel like the beginning of the end for the NCAA was their battle with Penn State in the early last decade.
Yeah,
I would say that one, and the other one I would couple it with is when they essentially perjured themselves with the witness to try to get Miami during the Nevin Shapiro scandal. If you remember that.
Yes.
They had a witness that they essentially coerced to try to testify against Miami, and they got caught, and the whole case had to get thrown. And the other one, the third one, if I recall correctly, was the grades for play scandal at North Carolina, which they bungled that as well.
And Kansas as well. Kansas didn't get real repercussions in college basketball. So there's been some real uneven treatment here, right? And Kansas, the program, lost a lot of prestige with that, and Bill Self personally, and I think North Carolina as well. I don't believe even in a system where everybody's cheating, there's no way Dean Smith would have let them get caught for faking players' grades. It would have somehow looked right. Is the only way I can say it.
And you have to tie into this, even though the NCAA is toothless with regards to big-time football, because big-time football has been around before the NCAA. College football started in 1869, for those that aren't tracking that. The NCAA didn't come about until at least the 1910s or 20s. I'd have to go back and look at the exact date. So they've never really been able to control college football like they have their other sports. And why are those important? Because, yeah, they still run and operate the NCAA men's basketball tournament, which is a big money maker for the NCAA. They still run women's softball and men's college baseball, which are money makers. So these big brands, if you hammer them in football for something, there's going to be repercussions when it comes to the other sports. So that's a part of it as well.
Yeah.
There's no big person like a Giamatti or someone else that has the weight or the wherewithal to make a decree and have it stick. And that's the big part when you have a committee and 12 people on that committee split. You don't
And
get.
Doug's been talking about on this show for a number of years that college football needs a college football czar, and we've talked about Nick Saban being that guy now in retirement, or maybe it's Greg Sankey, but somebody that can at least bring some sense of order to this, because right now it's just organized chaos is what it is.
Well, that's how the NCAA got started in the first place, was organized chaos, right? And that people knew things would get out of hand, and the haves and the have-nots agreed to start the NCAA to regulate it. But we see where it's at now. It may have to literally take an act of Congress to straighten all this out and to create someone that or something as an entity that can have teeth. Now, they may have old feelings for the NCAA, who still has lawyers, obviously not very effective ones, but they still have money and lawyers. And it's sad with all the money the NCAA makes, how much of it they're spending on litigation. If Congress could codify some kind of rules of not playing the game, but of regulating the game, right? Then the NCAA would have teeth to enforce the police, but otherwise they have to go away. But there can't be free for all. There has to be something to take its place. So no matter what happens, even if we're unhappy at the NCAA, somebody or something has to be prepared to replace them and already be in place to replace it.
To me, the answer on that is, and I'm paraphrasing slash sort of borrowing the idea I think Josh Pate has floated. Like, he always mentions that college football is providing essentially a free development and service to the NFL without the NFL ever having to give anything back to that development and that production of qualified employees. As soon as they walk out of their institution, whether they have a degree or not, but they're eligible for the draft, to the NFL after 3 years out of high school. Most of the time, that's, you go to whatever school, you redshirt, you're in the weight room, you're in the program, you're learning plays, you're getting practices, good coaches, and then next thing you can go to the draft and play in the NFL. So the NFL should take a more pronounced position to assist college instead of letting it flap in the breeze, because if they lose that clientele, essentially their next generation of employees, the players, then they don't have a product. So they should want to, Roger Goodell and his cohorts up there on Madison Avenue in New York should want to help college football sort of find some parameters and guidelines and structure so that this doesn't turn into a house of cards that fails.
Well, they're one of the main causes of this whole commotion of NIL, transfer portal. The only thing most athletes look at is the big dollars at the end of the trail. And that's all fine and dandy. I'm not regretting them to have that vision and goal. Along the way, the mayhem that has, it's really damaged college football to a degree where some people that I talk to say, I'm done with it. I'm walking away from it. I'm tired of it. The non-loyalty, this or that, or whatever that puts a bee under their bonnet. But it just leaves a really strong distaste. And when the NFL has a colluding hand in it, I can't say colluding, but a damaging hand in it, it just strips it.
I think the humorous part of it is, right now, as it's structured in college, you could transfer every year. That's 4 times. Say a red shirt. That's you could redshirt 5 times to 5 different institutions. Whereas when you sign your rookie contract, you're with that team unless you're traded for 4 years and potentially fifth if they exercise the fifth
Yeah.
year option. So you're not changing teams every year in the NFL. And even when you get through with that and they say they don't want to re-sign you and you'll be a free agent, you're going to sign a contract for X amount of years with another team. That's only 2 teams in the span of say 8 or 9 years. And yet
That's
you
good.
see that quarterback, I can't remember his name, but last I saw him, I think he was at Pitt, but he had been through 3 different schools before he landed at Pitt.
Oh, we
And yet,
had one kid at the UW that were at 5 teams, and what's his name? Millen's son, or God, who was it? He's on his 3rd team now.
Yeah, I've seen that. And now, here's what I'm concerned about the NFL getting involved is that when the NBA got involved, it actually limited players' games and simplified what they were doing in the G League, technically, to where college basketball was actually more expansive than pro basketball. And they limit players' games. And when they get in the NBA, they're sucked into a specific kind of system that's real stifling and that they can only do certain things. And if you started that on the college level in football, then I think it would stifle innovation. They'd have to be careful. And also, we've got to do a couple shout outs. We're getting lots of comments, guys. And Richard Brown says, who do we like for week 0? It's got K State and Iowa State. Stanford plays Hawaii. Me personally, Richard, I have Iowa State and Hawaii. But I'm just rooting for Hawaii because I like them.
So I have to throw this out real quick. The Iowa State Kansas State game
Yeah.
is actually referred to as Farmageddon.
Farmageddon, baby.
And I just seen this recently. I did not know that.
That's a good one.
Yes, I'd heard it before, but it escaped me.
Sean knew it, but
yeah,
Sean didn't tell us.
Big ag schools there. Iowa State and Ames, Iowa, and Kansas State out there in the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas. These are big ag schools. That's why it's Farmageddon. That's big corn and wheat country out there. And,
I know why you didn't tell us, Sean.
Why's that?
Because it wasn't that important. You knew it wasn't.
I'm just not. I love the Emerald Isle College Football Classic that starts the season off week 0. I love it. This one, I didn't mention it because I'm so used to it. It's usually one of the last games of the year. It's snowy, it's cold, whether whoever's hosting, and it usually has a lot on the line in the Big 12, and so it's great for the product that Aer Lingus, who's the sponsor of this game, they got a marquee matchup. But for it to be literally the first game of the season,
somebody's got to start it off, Sean.
Somebody does have to start off, I know, but I just like this game better when it's muddy and it's cold and there's snow flurries in the air versus it's going to be perfect conditions at Aviva Stadium there in Dublin, Ireland. I think 74 degrees at kickoff.
Seems like Pullman.
All right, who is Hawaii playing?
They host Stanford, the Cardinal.
Yeah, that's an old school matchup there, guys. I like it. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be entertaining.
Hawaii versus Stanford. Man, that's a hard one. And is that at Stanford?
I believe it's in Hawaii. Let me pull
it
up.
It's Hawaii.
Hawaii.
God,
Yeah.
that's a tough one, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
I think Stanford should win this. Andrew Luck, the general manager there, is really trying to rebuild that program.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been such a mess.
It has. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. With him having to fire that coach within the first 6 months of him getting there, there was a bit of an off-field issue with that coach, and now, short turnaround to get a new coach there and implement that program. And again, it's Stanford, so they have to meet the academic requirements to get into Stanford. But Hawaii hasn't been much, the last few years either. So this should be a good game. I hope it's a good game.
I mean, Hawaii generally can put up some points at home.
Yes. Now, guys, I see
yeah,
we have. What's that, Doug?
I was going to say real quick, Landon, Hawaii or Stanford? Landon, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Landon.
Well,
So
we
since
know
you
you're talking. You've got to be talking because we asked something.
yeah,
Turn your volume up.
crank it up, baby. Oh yeah, so we've got another guy. We got another comment, and I see that Chris Scully has joined the show. He says he's got K State. And he wants to know about Miami versus Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Well, that's week 1. We haven't even finished week 0
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, week 0. That's right. So he's moved ahead.
Let's run.
Leaving the Scully to move us to week 1 when we're in week 0,
let's
right?
run through the docket for week 0 first. We don't want to skip over it.
I
So
agree.
we got Iowa State technically at Kansas State. This is a Kansas State home game in Ireland. Iowa State's ranked 22nd in the poll, and Kansas State 17. So K State is a 3-point favorite with an over under of 51.5, and usually these games are pretty tight, pretty close.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. The reason I picked Iowa State is I felt they was heading the right direction last year, but they kind of fell off at the wrong time. Even though I was impressed by Kansas State, I think the Big 12 as an entertainment conference last year might have been the best. Was it the best conference in the country? No, but the parity of it was unbelievable, and the teams that were strong were strong. And if you watched Big 12 football, you were highly entertained. That's my
It's
opinion.
still old school, hard hitting football.
Yeah, the games were competitive. The teams were good. The matchups were great. So in terms of being a conference to watch, if you really enjoy football, I think that the Big 12 was great last year. You know, and we knew everybody knew that it was unlikely that one of their teams would win the national championship, but they probably got so much attention from the good play that sooner or later that could break for them, and they need a team that separates from the rest of the teams. Right? Nobody really truly separated. I mean, we know that they had a champion, but nobody really truly separated.
Until the end. I mean, Arizona
Yeah.
State definitively won the Big 12 championship game last year. They knocked the snot out of Iowa State there in that game, and without some poor officiating, send those fellas to Lens Crafters for a new prescription. They probably should have beat Texas in the Peach Bowl game there. If that targeting penalty is called. So now they did lose Cam Scatterbo to the NFL there. Exciting, hard-hitting running back. But they bring a lot of guys back, and I think a lot of us might have picked in the Big 12, prediction show.
Man,
Arizona.
that guy was exciting, wasn't he? I mean, would he have a concussion and he was still fucking knocking dicks
Bleeding all over the place, and he's still going out there, full of piss and vinegar, which we love.
He had some John Riggins in him, Sean. He had a little bit of John Riggins.
He did have a little John Riggins to him. We like that, We like our maybe he was like a little mini version of Mike Allstott, But
more explosive than Allstott.
He was definitely more. Yes, I agree, Ed. He was definitely more. He could cut and juke, whereas Allstott, he's just running
he
over
only
guys.
one direction forward.
I expect Arizona State to take a step back. Scatterbo was really the heart and soul of that team.
Yeah, it could happen. But I thought that overall that the rest of the talent, you about to give them a year to develop and they might get a little bit better at the pass game. But he's a huge factor. I agree. And I know Nikki was a big fan of Scatterbo.
I love Scatterbo.
Yeah.
So let me go and throw this out, and Richard.
Well, let me, Doug. Can I finish this game real quick?
Go ahead.
So 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock for us on the left coast for this kickoff. I already gave you the line, and I gave you the over-under, 51.5, -3 is the line. The series, all-time, Iowa State leads this series 54 wins to 50 losses and 4 ties. Iowa State currently on a 2-game win streak, 23 and 24, so 2 games. And last year, the game finished, where is it here? Let's see. I had it. I just had it. Hold on. Come on. Last year in Ames, Iowa, Iowa State prevailed 29-21. And I expect the game to be as close again this year. We can make selections if we want, but maybe Doug wants to wait for later for that.
What about Fresno State and Kansas?
But anyway, somebody had asked about Fresno State and Kansas, and I have to admit that I guess I didn't look at the slate too hard. I missed that one. Fresno State and Kansas.
So we got 5 games. 5 games. We kick it off: Iowa State, Kansas State, and Ireland. Then the next one, Idaho State is at UNLV. And you go, well, that's not really a great match, but hey, it's football, right? We've been waiting for so long for football. Throw that puppy on. Then the next one, Fresno State. The Bulldogs are at Rock Chalk Jayhawk KU. After that, we get Sam Houston State at Western Kentucky. And then we close her down with Stanford at Hawaii. That's your 5-game slate for week 0. To Doug's point, Fresno State at Kansas. The biggest news, they got it done in time, folks. Kansas has finished rebuilding their stadium, and it looks, if you go online and check it out, looks fantastic. Beautiful rebuild there of the David Booth Memorial Stadium there in Lawrence.
What? Seriously? It's
Yeah.
not Les. It's not Les Miles Stadium.
No, no, the Booth family has a lot more money than Les Miles.
God damn it!
They must be pretty fucking rich though, because he ain't broke.
It only took them a season.
So this Fresno State at Kansas will kick off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central, where the game's being played on Fox. Currently, the line, Kansas is a 13-point favorite with an over-under of 50.5.
Dana has joined us. So I like that game a lot, Sean. I think it's pretty interesting because Fresno State has been a really solid football team for a long time. Even though they're getting rated in NIL, they're also signing NIL, which I also hate NIL, Richard Bryan. We'll get to that later. But Kansas is also a solid football program. They're no longer a cupcake, and they, so I'm really.
This is the first ever meeting between the two programs as well.
That's a fluctuating thing, Bob. They're a cupcake, and then they're not quite a cupcake, and then they're back to a cupcake, and then they're.
If their quarterback stays healthy, they're not
Kansas kind of has the in that conference and previously when it was the Big 8, similar vibes to Indiana in the Big 10 and Vanderbilt in the SEC. Every now and then they'll surprise you. We think about the Mark Mangino years where Kansas ended up getting to a Rose Bowl. I think Reesing was the quarterback, but for the most part, Kansas is generally one of the softer teams in the Big 12. But lately, they've been playing a little bit better. And
was it the Rose Bowl or the Orange Bowl?
Orange Bowl, excuse me, Orange Bowl. Thank you, Orange Bowl. Yes.
Man, you just made my day, Sean.
Like that.
Because I don't ever get to correct
Can you
you.
guys
I
see
don't
me?
ever get to correct you, and I wasn't even sure.
I looked in the.
Something was hitting on my head saying Orange Bowl.
I gotta be honest. I'm wearing my Tournament of Roses hat in light of I knew we were going to talk about Michigan tonight, and I was at the Michigan-Alabama game, and I happened to see it in the closet, and I threw on my Tournament of Roses hat.
You hear that, Ed? He's seen them still in Alabama's plays from the sideline.
Yeah, we know you're on, Dave. Dave asked if we heard him. Yes, we hear you, Dave.
Dane,
So I had a
you.
misspeak in saying Rose Bowl when it was absolutely, you were right. It was the Orange Bowl that the big man Mark Mangino took the Rock Chalk Jayhawk to that year.
There is zero evidence we cheated in the 3 most important games. The issue is whether we should have been in the last 2.
There's a lot of evidence you cheated in the TCU game, and they knew you were cheating.
It's
Well, we lost that game, so
I know. That's what makes it so damn funny.
That's how we know that y'all were cheating. That
we won't
that just means that Connor was a poor thief because we obviously didn't have their signals.
Exactly.
Sorry, Dane.
What's up, brother?
Okay, I was not sure that I'd heard Dane until just now.
I heard him. He chimed in on that one little thing. So welcome to the show. So
what I missed?
You missed us talking about the NCAA being pieces of dog doo-doo for not doing everything they could against Michigan. And then we've been talking about games such
Oh
as
yeah, man. Fuck the NCAA.
Hey, I heard a rumor that the SEC is going to 9 conference games.
bam.
But we don't need to talk about that because we can get into that all through the fucking year because it's not starting until 26. So, is there even any reason to mention this shit?
Why are they doing
I
it?
think we should mention. I think it's the one thing I would make mention.
Well, we
about,
mentioned it.
I mean, other than you mentioning it, is it certainly leads to questions of how they're going to do it. I threw out my idea, which I think you and I have talked about in the past.
Hey, is there any conferences that aren't to 9 games now?
The only one that's left is the ACC.
God damn it, Dane.
The ACC
We're
did,
not
I
doing
think,
it, dude.
post on X.
Why?
We
Why,
don't want to
Dane?
do it.
They posted that now with the SEC moving in that direction, they will likely move in that direction as well.
Because it's gonna make our strength of schedule weaker.
Why would it do that if you get an opponent
You're probably right,
who
Dane.
you can beat that has ranking? That's bullshit, Dane.
Are you telling me you'd rather play Furman than Wake Forest, Dane?
I'm saying I want to play LSU, and then I want to play whoever the fuck we want to play. I don't want to be locked in
so y'all are playing
conference games.
I
We
tend to agree
gain
with
nothing from it.
Okay, so
if we're in
Dave,
the
let me
ACC.
ask you.
Now, if
Y'all
we
are-
were in the
y'all are
SEC
playing LSU
or the
this year.
Big Ten, I'd feel different.
So the winner of this game,
Yeah.
LSU and Clemson, they earned the right. Whichever one wins, their stadium is the Death Valley. This is the battle of the stadium name. Whichever one
No,
wins,
dude.
they get Death Valley. Yeah.
No.
No. What are you nervous, Dane?
Clemson.
I mean,
Clemson owns it.
no,
There's
you
no
don't.
argument.
That's a
because you stole
transferable name.
because your coach 75 years ago stole a rock when he was on vacation in California.
No, it had nothing. It had nothing to do with that. Actually, we got the name from an opposing team's coach down the road from me up here at Presbyterian College.
I mean, of course, Citadel's afraid to play you guys.
Someone's
Of course.
something
He said
on
that Death Valley.
If I'm
is what he
Citadel and I'm
called
going to
it
Clemson,
because
yeah, I
that's
think
where
it's
his
Death Valley.
teams went to die every year.
So
That's
I
why
got
I
a
don't.
question, Dane.
So
Dane, so y'all are playing LSU
What's
this year, right? So
yeah,
what other Power 5 conference teams are y'all playing that are not in the ACC?
South Carolina,
Okay.
At the Willie B too.
and then we're playing somebody, and
Furman?
then
They're playing
Is it
Wofford,
Furman
small
this
dog,
year?
big bite.
Oh, sorry, Wooford.
Wofford, small dog,
we
big
rotate.
Wofford.
We
He said
rotate
that's
one
our tour.
FCS school
Hey, that's the Terriers, dude.
That's
The
right.
Terriers.
every
What about
year.
High Point? Are
Little
y'all
dog,
playing
big
High
bite.
Point too? Swanee?
God damn it! No, Dabo rotates one in-state FCS school a year,
Oh.
so sometimes it'll be
Hold up, Dane.
Furman,
Dane, is he
sometimes
getting-
it'll be Wofford,
Dane, is he getting
sometimes it'll
kickback from
be
this?
South Carolina State. Huh?
Does Dabo get a little kickback from this?
No.
No? You sure?
Dane, do you think when you guys?
He seems pretty committed to this rotating the in-state.
Yeah,
teams.
it keeps our in-state schools athletics programs alive.
I mean,
When
if he
he's
gets a
doing a
check for
service
$50,000
to
each time, I mean that's like
these
150 extra grand.
They get
every 3 years.
500,000 to come to Death Valley and watch their teams die.
But see, you only got
Is that one of the
games like
Dane, when you play Wofford or you play a Furman or South Carolina State or a South Carolina Upland or Myrtle Beach Community College, when they come to Clemson, is that one of what Dabo likes to call those bring your own guts games?
No, only I think you know what a BYOG game looks like.
You gotta
and
bring
it's when
your
your
own guts
team's
to
on
this
the
game.
fucking losing end in Death Valley, brother.
So let me ask you, I got to get this out before we get off this today. Who had more of a chance, right? The Citadel versus Clemson in football or the Clemson cadets marching out against the Union Army? Not Clemson, the Citadel. The Citadel cadets.
Win, lose, or draw, they'll still gather at the paw.
Probably Citadel against Clemson football. I would have to say.
So let me just go ahead and say that Nikki has stepped out because she's in the middle of a big thunderstorm over in. Is she in New Mexico, y'all?
Or Texas, one or the other.
Yeah, she's in New Mexico or Texas.
Yeah,
and you know about the thunderstorms over there. But anyway, she said that LSU is shit valley, not Death Valley. And Dane, do you agree?
I heard it was deaf. Like I can't hear you, Valley.
Yeah, they get loud as fuck in that motherfucker.
I have been to both stadiums, and LSU much louder and much more humid.
Well, that's not what the decibel readings are, but whatever. We'll trust your untrained ears.
Pretty quiet that day I was there for Notre Dame at Clemson there.
So
now maybe it was because it was a noon kickoff and y'all were still just waking up,
nobody
getting out
was drunk yet.
Getting out of your PJs.
Sean, did you pay attention? Between both stadiums, how many beer bottles did you see flying through the air? Who leads in that?
LSU
category?
crushes Clemson with regards to alcoholic beverage consumption. That's not even a debate. That's
it is a thing now.
I don't know whether
it's a thing.
So there was a dude in the 70s that
you can drink.
Sorry, a dude that went to an LSU game in the 70s, Alabama and LSU, and he got hit with a beer bottle. It's a dude that I know, and he actually had a scar from it. I mean, he could have been making it up, but it sounded real to me.
See at LSU, it's not just like everyone around me had like a bottle of something, like not just beer, but it was like bourbon and scotch and. I mean,
they're loaded heavily on Sean.
They have perfected the not just pregame tailgating, but the in-game tailgating experience. And the other thing I would add, I love the men's rooms at Tiger Stadium in Death Valley, Baton Rouge, because you just go in there and it's just a big wall.
Hey,
There's no urinals or it's just the wall. You go pee on the wall.
You just piss on the wall.
So
Landon, can you hear us?
So for 101,000 people,
yes, I can.
Okay, great.
For 101,000 people to be at a game, the efficiency of the bathroom experience to get in and get out and not miss very much action. It's probably one of the best places I've been where you literally,
They're pissing on walls.
It's just a wall, and there's a huge drain in the corner.
That stadium trough.
That's a trough. It's a wall that drops like you're on a ledge. The wall goes below you to a river that flows to just a big, essentially like an oil drum, and it drains down
the Mississippi River, right? Doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean.
I'm envisioning it.
And for a stadium built in I think the early 30s, that was quite ingenious of them. So you're not missing game action. Whereas the worst I've ever been is the recently built U.S. Bank Stadium for the Minnesota Vikings. I went into the bathroom with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Didn't get back to my seat until the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. So,
Landon, have you been pissed at the LSU stadium?
Yes, I have. I like LSU stadium. I was there for a concert.
Do you agree with Sean's assessment of the bathroom?
I would like to go down yonder next year.
You know why they wouldn't do that today? Because you'd be standing there, and so here's the difference, right? So in the 70s when I was a kid, there was a urinal at the Ashland. That's the way Ashland Stadium is. 1907. They've been playing football in the same high school since 1907 in the same stadium, even though it's been renovated over and over. Well, they got the same thing, right? I never thought a thing about it. I never worried about it. Nobody said a word. People went in there and pissed, right? I played football there all the way through high school, right? They were every year we had to play them. They're our arch fucking rival. Anyway, if you went in a place like that today, somebody look over and say, well, that's really nice. Can I hold it for you? And I'd be like, oh, no, you can't hold it for me. And then things could get ugly, right? So That's why they can't do it today.
The funniest thing that happened was a guy dropped his program into the river, and the guy goes, and
Oh,
the guy next to him goes, "I think you're going to want to buy a new one," and just the whole room started laughing. So that was good, but it's all about efficiency. These TV, even
Oh
though
yeah,
we bark and bitch and moan about when we're at home how long the TV timeouts are. When you're trying to go to the bathroom, get another maybe a beer or something to eat, and get back to your seat. You have to be as efficient as possible. And I give LSU a lot of credit. It's a very efficient stadium.
yeah, it's fucking beautiful. I think it's a great idea, and I've seen old army barracks like that as well. So I think it's a great idea. So what's the next game on our agenda?
How about this 9-game SEC schedule?
The 9-game SEC schedule. I don't,
Thank God we're going to non-conference games. Thank God.
I agree, Landon.
I am
I agree.
so happy. I can't wait. Do you know how enjoyable it'll be? Like next year, like Florida comes to Tuscaloosa where they haven't played since 2014. A&M can go play Georgia in College
Are you,
Station where
are you
they
serious?
have never played.
Florida hasn't been to Tuscaloosa in 11 years.
Nope. And then
Wow.
I know
That sounds right. I don't
LSU
remember it.
hasn't been to Athens since Zach Mettenberger was quarterbacking and Aaron Murray.
Wow.
Kentucky and A&M have never even played.
So yeah, let's jump in right here because this is interesting. Are they going to do 3 permanents? Because I keep seeing people
Yes.
talking about this.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
3
correct.
permanents.
Okay, so Bob,
I want Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida. That's our traditional fucking rivals, and we need to play them, win or lose.
it's not going to happen.
I know, but that's what should happen. That's the traditional SEC. That's the way traditional
Doug immediately
SEC.
shoots it down.
No,
I know.
I don't believe it'll happen because I've already looked at it, and they're going to have to sacrifice so much to keep Kentucky and Tennessee together.
I don't know what they're going to have to sacrifice other than an easy win for Tennessee 9 out of 10 years of my whole life.
Well, I mean that's not really it. It's like because Tennessee and Georgia. I mean, so the game you're worried about is Tennessee, right?
Tennessee and Georgia is a rivalry, but not as big as Florida, Georgia.
It's not, and Tennessee and Kentucky is also a rivalry game. It's very traditional. It's as old as the SEC. They're just trying to shake us up, and it would be stupid. Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia have been playing them each other since, and Kentucky have been playing each other since the dawn of fucking college football, guys. They're the founding members of the SEC, along with a couple others, and
I'm going to make a prediction, Bob.
What's that?
One of Kentucky's permanent games is going to be Oklahoma.
Look how much sense that makes, right?
Well, it's because Oklahoma comes in; they don't really have any rivalries in the conference, and Tennessee gets all of their the game. No way that
I think
Kentucky.
Oklahoma should be they should be Missouri, Texas, and Texas A&M. I think that would be.
You would think
I think that would be fine.
It's gonna be Texas,
but go ahead and look at Kentucky's schedule and tell me what their 3 games is going to be.
I mean, being one of the oldest people in the group, as a kid growing up, Oklahoma was on TV every week, every weekend. They were noted for great games. So I would say that would be ideal to see an Oklahoma-Alabama matchup again.
Now, if they try to say Kentucky's
the problem you got for Alabama's common 3 opponents are you got Tennessee and Auburn, so that's 2 right there. The third one, and I had this discussion earlier. The third one, the problem you have is LSU considers Alabama a rival. The problem is Alabama does not consider LSU a rival. The only time that thing even took off was due to Nick Saban coming to Alabama, and he used to be at LSU. That's the only time. Before that, LSU was absolute dog shit before Nick Saban got there. They were terrible. It was never Alabama has more wins in Death Valley than LSU does the entire series record. That puts it into perspective. So I don't know if they're going to decide between LSU or if it's going to be Mississippi State, because Mississippi State is on Highway 82 in Starkville from Tuscaloosa, and it's like probably 45 to an hour from Tuscaloosa. So in terms of proximity, Mississippi State could be Alabama's third opponent, but they could just leave it at LSU and just be done with it. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I do know Tennessee and Auburn are a lock.
Yeah, that only makes sense. And I think that I don't know if they'd slip Georgia in there because they might need Georgia and Alabama both to independently compete every year. That maybe they're
Yeah.
thinking, and that's the problem with the scheduling is they don't want to. They want our teams to shine in the SEC. So they've got to somehow make it look like it's competitive, but yet let teams get through to the CFP, right? And like he was talking about Kentucky, for a program like Kentucky, if they schedule them against their natural rivals, they don't have a chance. They probably won't go to a bowl again for 10 years from now. If they put them against South Carolina, Missouri, and I just thought about who the other one would probably be, and maybe A&M every year they might go 7-5, 6-6.
No, they're going to get some of those big games, Bob, but they won't get them all.
Yeah, but they should.
Yeah, the way I understand it, whoever your opponents are like this year, and I say this year, I don't think it's really this year because I think this year's a wash. But whoever your opponents are next year in the SEC outside of your regular three, then you would play the other opponents that you didn't play the next year, basically just on a rotating basis.
Well, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
And see, that's only 3 out of 9 games. I don't know why the SEC is putting so much weight. That gives you 6 other games a year to rotate in and out. There's no reason to kill natural rivalries over it. I think it's just bullshit. I think it's people trying to gin up ratings, right?
Well, it depends on which games you consider rivals. Like, how many games do you consider rivalries in the SEC? I mean, I know we can all name a few of them, obviously, of course. But
now, I know you don't believe in LSU. You don't agree that LSU is a rival for Alabama. It's not. But for the country, that's a matchup that's been happening for
it's a big one.
100 years. Right?
Stay.
Alabama should, in people's minds, it's watched college football as long as I have.
I mean, growing up, Florida and LSU was a rivalry to me. Growing up, it was. But like I said, it didn't start really until Saban got there.
But these teams have been playing each other for 100 years, right? And to totally shake that up, right? I think there needs to be a little bit of traditionalism just for the sake of the markets, right? The markets might be that's always seen their team play Alabama and wants to see it because, like you say, that's a prestige program, highly elevated than LSU. And if you're on here, Shannon Russell, Alabama's not at LSU is not at the level of Alabama, and it would take 50 years of success for them to get close with Alabama down, and that's not going to happen. But anyway, traditionally, I think you need to see some of the matchups, especially regional ones. Now, what about Ole Miss and Alabama? How do you feel about that, Landon?
We've played for a long time, but I've never really considered Ole Miss a rival of Alabama.
No, we can live without that game.
We can live
on an annual basis. So Bob, real quick, if you're picking Kentucky's 3 permanents, who would you pick?
Tennessee.
You're the only guy. Nothing matters.
Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida.
Right. That's what's not going to happen. I think Vandy's going to be one of y'all's because that really has been a big rivalry. We don't know why.
Who could be the best team in the SEC? They've been fighting it for a long time. I mean, you could say that there's at least since the 1950s of Alabama and Kentucky competing to be the worst team in the SEC. So that's an interesting choice. And then you got South Carolina would be in Missouri. That's if you want to give Kentucky a break. If you wanted Kentucky to at least get to a bowl game, right? Then you schedule them against Missouri. There's regular opponents, Missouri and South Carolina and Vandy. But our fans hate Florida and want to play Florida every year, right?
I think y'all will get big schools. I think you'll get one.
And I just think that it's silly because of the money of it. So you can prop Kentucky up to where they look respectable and not drag the SEC's numbers down so bad, right? Right. So in other words, if you look at overall strength of schedule for all the teams in college football, and that becomes a factor in the CFP selection, and one of your wins was Kentucky, right? That's not necessarily a good win for you in the present situation, right? And in the average situation of Kentucky. So you've got to set Kentucky up so that their record is in the 5 to 7 win range, right? So that the other teams that matter that play them don't lose basically RPI points going into CFP.
Hey Bob, can I mention so real quick? Kentucky has a winning record against 4 programs in the SEC as of today.
Let me guess. Can I guess?
You please guess.
Vandy, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Missouri.
You got 3 out of the 4: Vandy, Mississippi State, Missouri. You have a losing record to Ole Miss, and the other team you have a winning record against is Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas, yeah. So I mean, if you look at that, still, but those Arkansas have more success in the last 25 years than Kentucky had. But here's the beauty of Kentucky having success. When Kentucky has had and gotten close and approached and gotten the top 5, the ratings for their games has been fucking astronomical, right? And when they had who was that guy after Gerald Lorenz? Woodson. When he had Woodson at quarterback, there was all that
Oh
Heisman
yeah,
hype.
Rod. I mean, was
Audrey
oh
Woodson.
shoot,
Roderick?
not Rob. No, oh shit, what was it? Andre
Yeah,
Woodson.
Andre Woodson.
Yeah,
Yeah. So when they had Andre Woodson and
Dickie Lyons.
Dickie Lyons was also he was one of the all-time great returners to SEC. I can't believe
He
people
was wonderful. Really good player.
and he was real good. So they were at a top 5 matchup, and the ratings for it was through the roof. A few years ago, Kentucky got close to that, and the ratings was through the roof, even though they lost to Georgia. So they had a chance to beat Georgia and actually compete for the SEC championship. Lost to Georgia, and the whole season went to shit after that. But leading up to those games, when Kentucky is ranked and there is interest, and they play another powerhouse SEC team with a chance to look good, even though they always fail, right? They hype it up all. I mean, they just lay into it, right? And they make bad calls on the SEC network. Well, who's that? Doring from Florida, the wide receiver. Oh, yeah, Kentucky's going to beat Georgia. I'm like, what? Right? But I'm just saying the ratings for that are astronomical and are better than any game that would ever happen against the kind of opponents that we mentioned from Kentucky, like Vanderbilt, Missouri, so forth. And I've been in
Well,
Missouri
every
Stadium.
game now is on TV, so that I mean, and if it's they'll move it like the TV networks only have. I'll just use the SEC for example, since we know it's part of Disney, the ABC, ESPN enclave. The first 3 weeks are scripted; they're on already. The first 3 weeks we know, but then after week 3, if you go on even ESPN's app, all the games are TBD. So if a team's having a good year, they'll move it from ESPN2 to that'll be ABC's Saturday night game of the week. So it really depends on which teams are obviously doing well and
Well, and
whatnot.
I don't have a problem with them doing that because unfortunately, look, we all look at projections and things like that, and they're great.
But hype can build. That's what I'm saying. That's what Kentucky can do is drive ratings for the program.
I think that's because, no offense, but at least in football, obviously not in basketball. Kentucky's a heralded blue blood in basketball, but in football, you guys are kind of the underdog story in your own conference. Vanderbilt would probably be the one below you, maybe Mississippi State. I'll let Doug and Landon, they know the SEC a lot better than I do. But when Kentucky is good, it's exciting because it's a feel good kind of a story. Because no offense,
Oh yeah.
historically, you guys have not been that great.
That's true, and that's all over the SEC. And the reason I'm using Kentucky as an example is there's other examples of that. Somebody mentioned the former Big 8 and Southwestern Conference teams that are in the SEC all playing each other, right? I mean, you could have the same kind of stories for A&M, right? A&M could beat its rivals, go on to the national championship, and that'd be huge ratings,
We,
And same thing in
we don't talk
Missouri.
about A&M, Bob, because they go 8-4 every year. That's what we know. We know 8-4
Yeah, and I
A&M.
mean, Kentucky, and A&M going 8-4. The problem they get made fun of so much is because they come in with their chest bowed out and they have like this badass mentality that they should sit at the big boys table. And then when you look down at recruiting rankings and everything like that, they flex the oil money. Hey, we can sign top 10 classes, but then when you look down, and you just see 8-4. You're like, well, shit. I mean, you're basically just Kentucky of the state of Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you
Floating above
proving
water.
to me?
with more money. Not to
Yeah,
say
Yeah, I
yeah.
Kentucky
mean,
doesn't have money.
what are you really flexing at the end of the day? I mean, you're flexing that we're spending an assload of money for just average results.
I
I
That's what you're doing, and
I
it kind of just looks stupid.
I personally think with I'm happy about the 9 game, and I think it's going to put a foot in the ACC's ass. They're the last one sitting at 8. They'll go to 9. They know they have to do that now. Big Ten's at 9, SEC's at 9, Big 12's at 9. Notre Dame even. I know we're independent, but we play 9 power games a year. ACC will go to 9, but
They're gonna
I'm
have
not
to.
happy about the 3 guarantee. Again, Doug is Doug. I'm standing on the shoulders of Doug's greatness because he floated the 4-pod system a few years ago, and you have your 2 guaranteed, and then you would float 2 teams from the other 3 pods, whichever one you're not in, and that way in a 4-year span you would see everybody. If you're a college player, I'll use Alabama as an example, and I'm there for 4 years, I want to play everybody in the conference at least once in my 4 years of being a football player there. If you're stuck on 3 permanents, you're still going to have a 1 or 2 outlier. That's just simple mathematics where you don't see them. And
Well, they
I
might change it. This is just their
No,
first
certainly.
stab at
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I'm just looking at it from both a fan and a player's perspective. If, we get 9 games a year in the conference, but we have 16 teams, we have to figure out mathematically a way to do this so that we can see we're not waiting 11 years before we see another program in our own conference.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want to do that. You want everybody to play each other, and everybody get a little bit of a piece of the pie. Always be able to say, we went to this place and that place, and plus, like I said, it's good for the sport. You want to see different matchups. I want to see Georgia go play Texas A&M in College Station, as opposed to them going to play in Columbia, Missouri every year. You know what I mean? Like used to be in the SEC East and all that stuff. I mean, I want to see LSU have to go back to Athens and play Georgia. I want Florida to come to Tuscaloosa. It's fun. It's good for football.
Yeah,
That's what
but
we
I
want.
think even what's more important, guys, is that having that 9th game scheduled at an important time of the season between championship game and a real meaningful game than one where it's stuck in that middle game between championship and CFP, and it's a cupcake and it doesn't have any relevance. That's what galled
No.
years and years and years with Alabama serving themselves up having that nice little cream puff.
They weren't the only ones in that conference. I mean, Auburn, I think
And
this year plays Mercer right before Alabama.
It was
so.
the conference thing, and I
So,
understand that.
I think singling a program out is bad business, but you're right to your absolute point. There shouldn't be that lull. Now the problem is we as fans, and I would say the coaches and the players want those games. The situation is now Big Ten is Fox, AFC is ESPN. What they really want, they don't want to give you a lot of good games on the same weekend. They want to space it out. That way, every week, they have that one primetime marquee game. It'll be ABC Saturday night college football for the SEC, and it'll be Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. And so they've tried, and then you have certain weeks that, frankly, at least on paper, I know games aren't played on paper, but are essentially from noon until 7 o'clock at night are graveyards.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's kind of like week 1 in 2 weeks, basically. I mean, At noon, we all can watch Texas, Ohio State. If somebody wants to dabble and watch Tennessee, Syracuse, plug up another TV, or if you've got YouTube TV, had the 4 panels, all right. But then, at 2:30, tune in to Alabama, Florida State. Big game for whatever that hopefully it's not a game in my case, but you get what I'm saying. And then obviously at night, Clemson, LSU, and then Sunday, here comes another thing. And I know we can't do it on Sundays because of the NFL and everything like that. So this is just the one particular weekend this happens. But Notre Dame, Miami, everybody's glued in Notre Dame, Miami. But before that, you got a little tune up with South Carolina, Vautech, and then Monday. Remind me who's the game Monday because I'm blanking right now.
I'll pull it up for you, Landon. Give me just a sec here.
There's some
Is
game on Monday, and I'm trying to think.
Monday. That's September 1st. Labor Day.
Yeah.
TCU at North Carolina. Bill Belichick's return to college.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, like that, and like I get that, and I know when we get in conference games, I mean, it's going to be tough because I mean, you can't. Not every game you can put, especially all conferences across. I mean, because also you have to take into account, like, it might be a big game, but just because you want the whole world to see it, you can't do that team a disservice and be like, all right, well, I know y'all have a top five matchup, and the other two conferences also have a top five matchup. So what we're going to do is we're going to put your top five matchup at noon and really like f you over because
well, the Big Ten essentially
the
did
game
that.
would be a whole lot more hype for the home team if it was a night game.
Yeah, I mean the Big Ten hamstrung themselves with the contract with Fox, where you have all big noon kickoff, and really that game should be a night game. And
Yeah,
but
100%.
hey,
absolutely.
Fox,
no one could sit here and tell me they like Michigan, Ohio State at noon just really, really like get your blood flowing compared if that was a night game under the lights. Like you're crazy if you tell me that you love the noon game better than a night game. Come on.
Only in certain situations is it better. But it's a rare occasion. I'd agree with you. And
there's a bunch of old fuckers that like that noon game better. I promise you.
Hey, I got to get home, Landon. I got to get home, and then I got to get to bed early. We got a big Sunday. We're going to Home Depot.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
I
have to be honest with y'all. I have season tickets to the Alabama games, and we go in the noon games. Like we play Wisconsin at noon this year in Tuscaloosa, and we've gotten to where we love the noon games because we just wake up in the morning immediately. We go straight to the stadium.
Exactly. No waiting around. You just head straight.
You don't tailgate really, and then you go in, you watch the game, and then when you get out, you're out, and then you're home, and then you have the rest of the day to just watch football and enjoy yourself. You don't feel hustled and bustled and everything like that. So I will say sometimes for the fan, but I'm just talking about from I guess a competitive advantage standpoint. If you're the home team, you want that crowd as rocking as possible, and that crowd's a lot more rocking at night than noon.
Right. If you want to be the big game nationally, I mean, noon is not going to cut it. But.
And on Sunday, it's not a good. That's the reason the NFL's at one is a church.
Yeah, you're not. If you try to compete with the NFL, you're going to lose.
Right.
I mean, if you want to compete with the Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars, you'll win. But when you go competing with the Buffalo Bills and the Packers and the Cowboys and the Steelers and all that stuff, you're losing. You were losing every time, twice on Sunday. It doesn't matter. You're going to lose.
You can pick any of the best, whatever you think the best college football playoff national championship game that we've had in the 4-team, along with, I know we've had the 1 year of the 12-team. It is 90 million less viewers than the Super Bowl. Put that in perspective. Yeah,
and I mean, look, I'm from the South. I'm not from the North, but I'm well enough to know, dude, up in the Northeast and everything like that, football is just NFL football is just cared about, and the passion is way, way different than something you see down here at like a Falcons game or a Jaguars game. It just doesn't even compare.
In Chicago, you can't even use the newspaper to cover college basketball or football. The Chicago,
the big cities. I mean, Bob's absolutely. New York, Philly, Boston, Chicago.
Well, I mean, I guess in perspective, it would be like me comparing Alabama college football to Syracuse. I mean, there's just no comparison. No,
absolutely.
It's just none.
In the North, Syracuse gets almost, unless they're having a good year in either football or basketball, which lately has been kind of few and far between. they get almost no pub compared to the Yankees, the Giants, the Knicks, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas I'm sure in Alabama, whatever the biggest newspaper, I would guess Birmingham is probably the biggest newspaper in the
Yeah,
state.
Birmingham would be.
There's probably minimal talk about the Falcons or the Saints or the Titans compared to Alabama, Auburn, Georgia.
Are there still paper?
Just
do
go
we
to
still
the
do,
games.
do we still
If
do
you go
paper
to Falcons
news?
games, there's always more opposing fans.
Some of us, Doug, still like a paper in our hand. I still get a
I
paper.
swear to God, you really can't find them. Not much.
I'll tell you what, if you can get past the rest of the newspaper, the Herald Leader, which I hate, and I'm going to say publicly, I believe is a Yankee liberal lie rag, right? But the sports section of the Herald Leader is the most comprehensive that I've ever seen, and every single score possible is in it. So if y'all want to find a sports page where you can actually follow a team on paper,
do I got to drive to Lexington?
Bob, where
to
are
get
they
this?
published out of?
well, Lexington, Kentucky.
God damn it,
Beautiful
Bob.
Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh yeah, beautiful Lexington.
Do they have
I can't drive to Lexington every week, Bob.
Do they have all the horse fixins in there?
Oh, they'll mail it to me?
Oh yeah, they have all the horse stuff too. It just depends on what the horse stuff. When it gets specific about what the horses are all about and maybe who you should bet, because they never tell you specifically to bet for anybody. They just give you the odds, tell you who's trending.
I may have to get a digital subscription to this newspaper.
Right.
For those of us who like betting horses.
Oh yeah, well, I know a guy that I'd love to introduce you to that works in the stable at Keeneland, and he just cleans stalls and stuff. He seems like an ordinary guy, but he's like a guru. You wouldn't believe the millionaires that talk to this guy, right? And his name is Robert Walker. He lives in Nicholasville, Kentucky, and his tips are amazing. I told you the story about how I turned $2 into 15,000, right? With the exacta, right? It's because I took Robert Walker's tip, wrote it on my program, and walked in Keeneland on Derby Day and bet his picks.
Bob,
So
I tell you, I know another guy that did that. His name was Biff Tannen. He had he had the Sports Almanac from 1955 to 2000. That's how he made his first million.
I've been looking for that. I've been looking for one like that, Sean. I mean, the one from 55 to 2000 ain't going to help now.
I know. We need 2025 to 2075.
Right.
Hey, did y'all pick the games for week 0 this week?
Not yet. I think we need to.
Let's do it. Somebody throw them out and we'll pick them.
All right, let's start with the first game. Iowa State versus Kansas State in Ireland. Kansas State is a 3-point favorite currently with an over-under of 51.5.
That's Farmageddon, by the way. Just
Farmageddon.
You didn't know.
I can't believe they're doing it in Ireland.
They swinging in Ireland. That'd be special.
Aer Lingus, man, the airline of
That's
Ireland.
fucking awesome.
Throughout
that is pretty cool. Do y'all remember last year what happened in Ireland?
No.
Didn't Florida State lose?
Yeah, and then they proceeded to go 2-10, and we get to play them. That should be fun.
I think you guys are kill them. I know Alabama's shaking in their boots because Tom Castellano was talking some shit the other day. That was laughable.
Dude, he hasn't stopped talking shit is what's crazy. I will give it to the man. I thought after that first little spiel that happened, I thought he was going to kind of hey, kind of tone it back a little bit. No, he's doubling down and saying even more outlandish shit. It's kind of amazing to me.
I don't know how many points Bama's favored by, but I'm laying all of them.
13.5. I'm with you.
I'm going to take Iowa State in this game. I just think Matt Campbell's a better coach than Kansas State's coach. I know they're a higher ranked team, but kind of in these Big 12 games like this, I like Campbell at Iowa State. And after getting humbled last year in the Big 12 championship game, I think the Cyclones have a chip on their shoulder. And I got them winning by a field goal in this game. Call it 27-24 Cyclones.
All right. Well, I'm picking that too. That'll make it easy. That's exactly how I feel, Sean. I feel Kansas State is, Iowa State's highly motivated. Kansas State is good. It's going to be a great game. And I have Iowa State by a field goal as well.
God damn it. Let me be the bastard here. And give me the Give me Kansas State.
You're taking the purple, Doug. You're taking the purple.
I've got to.
I'm gonna be one with you too. I'm taking Kansas State. I like Avery Johnson, Dylan Edwards. I like what I see from Kansas State. I'm gonna take Kansas State in the spread about 3 points too.
K-State by a touchdown.
Ow!
A whole touchdown, Ed. Good Lord, you come out gambling this year.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! What about you? What about you, Brace?
I think Kansas. I like their running backs. Usually, they always have some ground and pounder that knocks the shit out of you.
Bruce is taking any team that wears purple, so throw that out.
Come on.
I'm kidding, Bruce. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
no,
kidding.
no,
I'm
no,
kidding.
no,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know. It's better than green, though.
Yeah.
And what about you?
You couldn't
What
help
about you,
yourself.
Dave?
We almost went the whole show without
Give me
throwing shade at
Kansas
Oregon.
State by a safety.
Sorry about that, guys.
So
Don't
Kansas
say
State
that.
wins, but they don't cover. Dane is such a Dane, you're terrible.
I think the greatest football team game I ever saw was settled by safety. The Giants and the 49ers in the NFC Championship.
No, that was a terrible game. We don't talk about that, Bob.
That was an incredible game. I was a big Valley fan.
Prevented Joe Montana from three-peating.
Yes, that was awful. It was awful. It was a devastating game if you're the fan of Joe Montana, but I was. But that's a game that was important and decided by a safety.
What's next, guys?
Next game on the docket is Idaho State at UNLV in Vegas. And the Raiders have been so kind to let the Runnin' Rebels use Allegiant Stadium. The line currently UNLV by 26.5 with an over-under of 65.5.
Give me the Dan Mullins. I'll take Dan Mullen, not lay the 26.
Oh, that Landon with the great drop. Yeah, I forgot. This is the new the re-emergence of Dan Mullen from the broadcast booth back to the sideline.
Yeah. Yep. Dan Mullins. Give me the Dan Mullins. You got Alex Orgy at quarterback from Michigan.
Give me the Running Rebs, but they're not going to cover.
I agree with Doug. Give me the Rebs. They win by 20. They don't cover the 26.5.
There you go.
I think
anyone
they
else want to
cover.
pick this? They cover?
Yeah, I think they cover.
Fun fact: the Idaho State, in case you were wondering what their mascot is, they're the Bengals. They are the Bengals. Idaho State.
Yeah,
Bengals.
the Bengals are gonna get bunghole.
Well, I'm a Bengals fan, so I'm not Idaho State.
Bruce might be the only one on this panel that knows where Idaho State's campus is in Idaho.
Yeah,
do you know?
I do.
Where is it located? Can you help?
Pocatello.
Pocatello, yeah.
Pocatello. God,
Ed,
Ed, well, nicely done, Ed. I gotta.
You've rode through there before, haven't you, Bruce?
Quite a few times. I've been usually when I go fishing up in Montana is when we go through there.
What did you say? Fishing in Montana?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Oh God, we've gone to quite a few places. In fact, I might be going next month with my son-in-law and my friend.
Well, guess where I went last year? During this time, literally, I would have been there right now.
Yeah.
Where's that?
I flew into Billings, and then I went to Fort Smith, Montana, to the Bighorn River.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty country too.
George Custer had a bad day
It's
not fishing
awesome.
there, Landon.
The only place I've got to fish out west is the Walker River Lodge in Northern California, and I caught a bunch of browns off corn, and they made me stop fishing. So I had a cane pole, and then I had corn. That's how I trout fish here in the mountains. So I took just a can of corn and a cane pole and a Bear Gold crappie hook. It was in my car, a collapsible crappie cane pole. And I went to the edge of the bridge. I seen them browns everywhere, and every time I dropped that piece of corn there, a 2 to 5 pound brown would come out of there. Right? That's what I know.
Browns get aggressive,
Man, I'm telling you, if you want to catch trout, Bighorn River in Montana, I recommend it to anybody. That was absolutely awesome. Trip of a lifetime. I loved it
You want to
so
east of the
much.
Mississippi,
or did you reel?
Yeah, fly fish. Absolutely.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
we were double nymph with pheasant tail going down the Bighorn, and we were in float tubes, believe it or not. We floated down the river fishing them and everything like that, waders and all. My Me and my future father-in-law, where he took me, dude. I'm telling you, that best trip I ever been on. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I can
You sent a few photos of that land, and it looked quite beautiful. It looked like a
Yeah.
great time.
Oh, dude, dude, Montana is absolutely gorgeous. And then on
Yeah,
the flight
Fort
back,
Bragg.
that's when I watched Georgia Tech beat Florida State, and then ironically, Montana State played literally the game after against New Mexico State.
One of my friends have the record for the largest brown ever snagged in Montana.
I
Damn, that
believe
must
it.
be a massive.
South of Billings. It was big. It was big. It was fat boy.
Now,
Does
if y'all
anybody
ever
else care about this game?
So I
yeah,
have three quick sidebars, Doug. If you'll let me, I know you're trying to get out of here, but three quick sidebars. Number
can I
one,
get something out real quick? Take me 15 seconds.
go ahead, Mike.
So I'll offer you guys the best fishing experience I know is east of the Mississippi, and it's a gorge in central Kentucky made out of limestone in crystal clear water, and there's no dirt in it, and the sunlight never hits it, and in it is smallmouth that fight better than anywhere in the world. It's the best smallmouth stream probably in the world, and I would personally guide any of y'all that ever wanted to be in it.
Well, the most exciting I've been on the Kenai. So
Okay, my three quick caveats before Doug moves us to the next game. Number three, these are three quick caveats. Number one, we talk about Montana great athletes. Brian Leaf from Montana originally.
Yep.
In the
Yes.
great '97 Heisman race, which I think we've all seen on ESPN. Number two, every week I feel like Bob becomes our like Southern version of Kramer. He's always got the like from Seinfeld. He's always got these crazy stories with his buddy Bob Sacamano. You know, I lost your shoes, Jerry, in a poker game to Bob Sacamano, and Bob's got those crazy stories. Number one, we're learning things tonight. This is the last caveat. We're learning. So Boise State's in Boise, Idaho State's in Pocatello. Bruce or Ed, can you help? Where is the Vandals located in Idaho?
Moscow.
Moscow, yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we learned something about Idaho for those
Which is about
around.
20 miles from Pullman. So they're real close.
And we talk about Idaho. The reason we're talking about Idaho and Montana a little bit, not just because it's great fishing, great country, great hunting, but going forward, the revitalization, which Doug always is curious about, the revitalization of the Pac-12 to whatever it's going to be. I would be reaching out to the Idahos and Montana universities to continue to regurgitate that conference.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along, Doug. I'm sorry for all of that. Third game
Underrated
of the
point,
day.
by the way. Washington State plays Ole Miss in the middle of the year this year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. Where at?
Oh, it's got to
I'm
be an
gonna
Ole Miss.
say, I think it's in Oxford.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I
just
mean,
little
Ole Miss
underrated
takes.
point, something you don't usually see a lot.
We like that though. That's good. I mean,
Yeah, that's good. Good for football.
The other funny this year, Washington State and Oregon State, the bedrocks of the new regurgitated Pac-12, playing a home and home. They're going to play once in Corvallis and once in Pullman. You don't often see that in college football. All right, game three, gentlemen.
We probably will never see it again, will we?
No, we won't. Fresno State, the Bulldogs, are traveling to Lawrence, Kansas to take on Rock Chalk Jayhawk at the finally finished David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium. And by the way, for a 52,000 seat stadium, they did a really nice job on the renovation. Kansas, 13-point favorite over under 50.5.
Yeah.
Who's
Well, I'm gonna get that out of the way.
coaching Fresno nowadays?
Give me a sec, Dane. I'll pull that up.
Shout out to Jeff Tedford, Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Current head coach of the Fresno State Bulldogs is in his first season. In his first season, Matt Entz, ENTZ, Matt Entz.
Where did he come from?
Matt Entz is he was the former head coach at North Dakota State from 2019 to 2023.
Ah, okay, nice.
Shit.
All right.
And he did lead the Bison to an FCS championship.
Well, you know what? Just because
we got another
Kansas,
Brian Kelly on our hands.
for whatever reason, disappoints me. It seems like because they usually are pretty nasty, especially in a video game world on NCAA with Jalen Daniels. but he can never stay healthy, and they always just like I don't know what the hell their deal is. So I'll take Fresno in the points.
Fresno to
Really
win or
good.
just the points, Landon?
Just the points.
Just the points.
So, sorry, Jen Chavez wants to know what happened to Ryan Leaf again. Whatever.
Drugs.
Usually
What
run-ins
didn't
with the
happen to
law.
Ryan Leaf? That's a better question. What didn't happen to him?
Yeah, he had the trifecta.
You know, I think he's doing a podcast now. I think he's out of jail, but
He
he
got, he
That's
was
got
good.
it together.
Yeah,
he
that's
was
good, man.
he
He's
was
kind of
on
redeemed himself.
he was
If he was
on
a rock star,
ESPN
we'd
for a
Bobby.
while, and then he ran his mouth with regards to something, and ESPN quickly, the big mouse said, "Yeah, we got to distance ourselves." I think he's out of jail though, and I think he's just doing a podcast these days. But I will deep dive
Not
that
shocked.
later. So the Kansas Jayhawks are in the 5th year of the Lance Leipold dynasty as the head coach there. I like Kansas to win this game, but I think I agree with Landon that Fresno covers. Give me Kansas by 7. Call it 35-28. Jayhawks.
This is in their newly renovated stadium.
This is the lid lifter in the newly renovated David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
So the first game.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
kind of hard to
what's
pick
the
against them.
spread?
Yeah, Kansas to win. I'd say even closer than 7.
Field goal, Ed?
3 to 4.
Okay. Dane?
Give me Kansas by 2 tutties.
I think Dane's just picking the opposite of whatever I do. He's just being he's being his usual cantankerous self. He had a bad day putting tires on what is it, Mercedes, Dane?
Something like that.
All right, fourth game of the day, gentlemen, and
Wait a
hopefully.
minute. I'll take Fresno.
Oh, sorry, Bruce.
Yeah,
you got
and I didn't
Fresno
pick either.
I'll take
Fresno to
Fresno
win?
because I think their defense is going to do a really good job.
Bruce, are you picking them to win?
I'm picking Fresno to win.
I love it, Bruce. That's a native Californian right there.
Double that up for me.
Yeah.
Give me Fresno. The fighting
The Bulldogs.
The fighting Jay Phils of Fresno.
The fighting Jay Phils, yeah. Or
Yep.
for those who know, Devontae Adams is a Fresno State Bulldog.
Yeah, give me those
Yes,
Bulldogs.
Jake Hayner.
Jake Hayner, yep. Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Who may be coming to a broadcast booth near you.
Yes. Hell yeah.
All right. Anybody else that needs to talk Fresno State at Kansas?
Yeah, I got I'd like to give my pick. I got Kansas, but I got just like you guys, I have Fresno State covering the spread. Shout out to Jay Fields.
We love Jay. Yeah, I hope, even though I'm picking Kansas to win the game and and not cover. If Fresno State wins, I'll be just as happy because I am going to go
That
down.
would be a
and
good
see-
little appetizer upset for football if that were to happen. I have to be honest.
I'm going down this year to see Fresno State play to check that out as I continue to knock off campuses and stadiums on my my list. So if and I don't really particularly care for Kansas, but I mean you got to pick a game. It is what it is. But if Fresno State wins the game, that's fine by me. That's great.
Wait,
Okay.
Sean, are you going to add a little your own spin on the Todd Blackledge taste of the town when you're doing this kind of thing?
That would be a good little idea.
Well, in 2030, Landon's going to take me to Dreamland. So there's that. 5 years from now, Landon, put that in your calendar.
No problem. Actually, Archibald's would be a better choice, honestly, than Dreamland.
I'm gonna leave it up to you. Whatever you decide is the best, I will. Ed, sure. I mean, when you and I go to Ann Arbor at some point, when Notre Dame and Michigan finally play again, you'll tell me wherever the best place in Ann Arbor is. And no offense to Dane, downtown Clemson, underwhelming, very tiny, very, very. You can do it in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
It was in and
yeah.
out of like 5 different, what is it, the Tiger Town Cafe or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's quaint. Don't get me wrong. The best food of all my travels, uh, Baton Rouge, LSU, Cajun country. That's a tough. Trying to beat that is a high bar
The
in my.
drive-through daiquiri shop in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
dude, the daiquiri shops down under are
Tough to beat,
fire.
man.
yeah.
Just tough
I
to
was
beat.
there's. I don't care what team you're a fan of and what conference, wherever you. If you haven't been to Baton Rouge and experienced that, and
Oh,
the
dude,
food and the.
LSU's dope. I only applied to 2 schools out of high school for college, and that was Alabama and LSU.
I'm just
LSU's
saying,
awesome.
if you go hungry when you're in Baton Rouge, you've really, really screwed up badly because
Oh, 100%.
So Ed, to your point, I'll try, but I just usually ask the friendly. Everywhere I've been has been friendly, and they give you a recommendation and you go. So I got 7 games on the docket.
Did
Two are
did
two
you
are.
have did you have crawfish etouffee in
Oh, of
Baton
course.
Rouge?
I had crawfish etouffee. I had shrimp etouffee. I had beignets. I had, yeah. I had the
Jet
whole.
Boudin?
Love boudin. Oh,
Oh,
too much boudin.
isn't it so good?
It's the best. Yeah, I mean,
It's so good. I love it.
and probably was overserved too many beverages, but that's a Saturday in Baton Rouge.
I'm about to say it sounds like a Saturday in Baton Rouge.
But yeah, I will not be upset if Fresno and because of basketball. Bob knows how much I despise the Kansas Jayhawks basketball program. So if the Fresno State football team can beat Kansas, I'll be more than happy. All
There
right,
you go.
moving on to game number 4. I know it's not the biggest game in the world, but it will wet your whistle a little bit in week 0 on CBS Sports Network. Make sure you got that on your whoever you subscribe to for your television. It's the Sam Houston State against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. I gotta look at
Oh,
what Sam
fuck
Houston
me.
State is. The Sam
Let me
Houston
get
State
let me get
Bearcats.
Western Kentucky.
The odds on this game: Western Kentucky is a 10.5-point favorite with an over/under of 60.5. The game will be played in beautiful Bowling Green, Kentucky. Bob could probably tell us stories about Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Well, it's way west of me, but I've been there because I love Corvettes. And the first time I went, they had a '69 L88 Corvette in a sinkhole. They were trying to figure out how to get it out of there, and it blew my
Rumor
mind.
has it there, Bob, you weren't just there for a Corvette. There was a beautiful, tall, leggy blonde that you were pursuing at the time.
Oh yeah, it's just like a George Jones song. You ever heard of the George Jones song? The,
I have. I can't remember what it's called though. It's talking about. It's like a double meaning. Talking about a woman
yeah,
in a car, right? Yeah.
she was lean and mean. She was red and mean. She was the fastest thing in town. I can't remember the words, or I'd break it down. But I know. But anyway, the Corvette song. I'm a big fan of George Jones, guys. I just love George Jones. I feel that 7-year-old White Label and George Jones were a match that were made for each other. And when I'm listening to George Jones, I understand that because I drink 7-year-old White Label. So when I drink proper bourbon that's been around for over 200 years and not one of these fancy, gone lately 30-year-old places that sell for 10 times the money, right? When I drink real bourbon, I think of George Jones, and I want to do it his way.
So real quick, Bob, thoughts because you're talking Pappy Van Winkle. Your thoughts?
Pappy Van Winkle is, you know what Pappy Van Winkle really is? Do you want to know what it really is?
Preach.
There was a rock gut liquor that was made for over 200 years, even older than Jim Beam, that was called Old Crow. And them and Four Roses were some of the worst rock gut liquor that was ever made, period, in the history of man. And you only bought it if
That
you
was
were
one of my
cash.
first hangovers.
And that is now the name. Those guys have made themselves into a little tourism place and try to and act like they've made good liquor for 200 years. and so to my
Old
opinion,
Crow's nasty.
that's the same. No, that's the same people that made Old Crow, Kentucky Tavern, fucking Kessler, Smooth as Silk,
Oh
right?
yeah.
These guys, I
Oh.
don't know that yes, they may have a master bourbon maker but I'm not paying them $400 for a bottle of liquor.
So
I'm not gonna go right down to Rite Aid and buy a
so to
bottle
our
of 7-year-old white label that's every bit as good. I can buy a whole half gallon for $25, right?
we are breaking news on Smacking Out the Podcast. Thanks to Bob, our resident Kentuckian. Don't overpay for Pappy Van Winkle. There's better products for cheaper.
Yes, even if you want to spend money and but not a whole lot of money, and you want to do better than 7-year-old white label, but guys, that's tough to do. But anyway, if you want to do that, right, your two choices, in my opinion, right, are Woodford Reserve and Knob Creek. And Knob Creek is more like George Dickel. The George Dickel is the only Tennessee liquor that's ever worth drinking.
Yeah, I'll buy that, Bob.
He said
Yeah.
George Dickel, not to be confused with famous NASCAR racer Dick Trickle.
That's right. Imagine sitting next to your name being Dick Trickle and sitting next to Jack a Root.
There you go. I love it.
Jack a Root, bro.
Jack a Root. So, you know what
All
I'm saying?
right, so Bob, who do you got in this one? You laying the points at Western Kentucky, or are you just saying it's a W? And
I'm going to take the points. Western Kentucky's good. They're going to crush these guys utterly. It's going to be ugly.
I'm going to roll with Bob. Bob knows his Kentucky. He knows his Kentucky bourbon. I'm with him. I'm going to lay the points with the Hilltoppers. They crushed Sam Houston State.
Is
Yeah, give me
Tyson
the
Helton still
Hilltoppers,
the
too.
coach at Western Kentucky?
Who's that, Lance? I'm sorry.
Tyson Helton, is he still the head coach at Western Kentucky?
Give me just a sec here.
Yeah, let's check it out.
We played them last year, first game, and beat them like handily because they started TJ Finley, our lone survivor, if you guys remember.
To answer your question, Landon, Tyson Helton is in his 7th season there at Western Kentucky.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'll
So,
take Western Kentucky. I like. I think they still got return the quarterback. What's his name? Veltkamp, I think. Caden Veltkamp.
he's good. They've got some players. He's got some weapons too. They've done well in the transfer portal. So I think that they're going to just soldier right on and be a force in the conference and win this game.
Dane.
Yeah, I got the Hilltoppers big.
Hilltoppers last year 8-6 with Hilton. They lost in the Conference USA Championship game to Jacksonville State, and then went on to lose the Boca Raton Bowl to James Madison, the Dukes. They, I believe, to Landon's point, yes, they bring their quarterback back. So,
Yeah, Veltkamp, I think's his name.
Yeah, I like him on the second stint there with Western Kentucky. I think it's Bruce. Who do you like in this one?
I have no knowledge of Western Kentucky football. I sure hell like
At
the
least
name.
you're honest, Bruce.
I'm honest. I like the name Hilltoppers. It's classic. So you got to take it. The Hilltoppers.
Ed, who do you like in this one? Did we lose Ed?
He might have wanted to talk about them Gamecocks down there at Alabama State. See, we got to give a shout out.
Hilltopper's big. I'm sorry. I muted myself because I had to pee.
No, you're good. We just want to make sure you're there. You got the Hilltoppers.
Good, Ed.
Anybody else? Doug, yeah.
Yeah, give me the Hilltoppers.
I think that's a clean sweep. We're all taking the Hilltoppers in this game, which leads us to the last game of Week 0, gentlemen. The trying to rebuild Stanford Cardinal under general manager Andrew Luck, who has turned in his NFL stripes probably a little too early to take over his alma mater's failing football program, visits the Fighting Rainbows of Hawaii.
Yes, sir.
That'll be your late game on CBS Sports. So the main network.
If y'all didn't know, undercover Hawaii fan right here, by the way.
That's because you love Colt Brennan.
I love Colt Brennan, dude. Favorite college football player of all time, Colt Brennan.
So here's the current line. Surprisingly, for a non-power team, Hawaii 2.5-point favorite with an over/under of 50.5.
Yeah.
And this game is because Hawaii hasn't finished their new stadium on Oahu. This will be on campus at their athletics complex. They're working on building their new stadium, by the way.
Have I ever told y'all why I actually really do like Hawaii other than Colt Brennan? Seriously.
No, you have not. Share with the group.
Growing up as a kid, Alabama got put on probation in the early 2000s. And what we ended up having to do, because we couldn't go to a bowl game, we had to schedule to play Hawaii in Honolulu at the end of the year after we got through playing Auburn as
Two
a
years in a row.
as like a, like a sick, kind of like a bowl game in a way. And matter of fact, I think one time we went up there and lost. This when they had Devon Bess at
We
receiver.
did. The first game was with Franchione. We went over there and we won close. And then Shula took over for the next year, and that's when we lost.
Yeah, and that's when they had Timmy Chang at quarterback, who also was one of my favorites too, and now the head coach. So I've always, and then Christmas Eve and everything like that, as we all know, the Hawaii Bowl comes on. So what do we all do sitting around waiting for Santa as a kid? Turned on to Sheraton Hawaii Bowl to go to sleep, and Hawaii's always playing in it because that's the first bowl bid they always accepted every time. And so naturally, I've always just loved Hawaii. I really hate that they got rid of who was the coach they did have before Timmy Chang. I think it was the guy that was at Arizona State at one point. Todd Graham.
June Jones, or no, Todd Graham.
Well, they had June Jones a while.
Yeah.
Yes, they did have June Jones, but then they went through and they had some guy that was with Arizona State, Todd Graham, I think, something like that, or he took the job at Arizona State.
Yeah.
And then they had a guy who ended up going to Washington State. They threw the ball over the field, but the guy ended up taking the job at Washington State. But no, I've always liked Hawaii, and I think Hawaii's going to be better this year than people think. They got a lefty quarterback, really good.
A really good quarterback.
So I got a question, Sean, and you keep talking about Andrew Luck being the general manager, and I'm looking through a lot of teams here, and I'm seeing that most programs don't list a general manager. So what's that about? Wonder.
Courtney Morgan.
Well, actually, AD.
Yeah,
No.
Clemson.
No, there's an AD. There's an AD
recently
there
got a
too.
general manager. I
So,
don't even know who the fuck he is.
Because Stanford has, outside of Ohio State, the largest athletic department of most colleges, and that's why Stanford every year, if you notice, generally wins the what do they call that? The Capital One Cup, I think it is. Yes, they have an athletic director. He primarily oversees all the other sports, baseball, softball, rugby, swimming, And so Luck is the general manager of the football team, which essentially his main focus is just all things football.
Right. We have our general manager too.
And of course, Frank Reich is the interim head coach right now.
Currently the interim, and from what being out here in the Bay, it's just going to be this year for Reich, and then as soon as Stanford, and they're not by no means are they expecting to win the ACC. Their kind of goal is to go 6-6 and get to a bowl game. That's kind of the big goal this year. But after that, as soon as the offseason begins for the Cardinal, Luck will begin a serious deep dive search for the next long-term head coach at Stanford. He's personally here in the offseason calling all the big donors to the university, which Stanford's got a few of those, to bring back the glory of essentially himself. Those are the kind of recent glory years of Stanford football, where when Luck was there, I believe they went to 2, maybe 3 BCS bowl games. That's kind of his goal. He understands a tough road to hoe. Most of the time at Stanford games, I've been to a couple living out here. There's more visiting fans than there are Cardinal fans. And again, that has something to do with the student body you bring out here. They're not the keenest on football. I'll just say that. It's
Okay, I got it.
It's a bit of a
UCLA of
it's a
the
bit of a
North.
cheese it's a bit of a cheese and wine crowd, and so when the team is not good, the stadium is a little empty, other than for the visiting fans. So Andrew Luck's trying to revitalize the program. Reich
Yeah,
again had
Stanford, they got to study.
yeah. I mean that's yes. Landon's
They
not
got to
wrong.
study.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about football players that have to enter Stanford with generally a 34, 35 ACT score, or at least a 1700 and above SAT score. So it's certainly a challenge. But Andrew Luck is up to the challenge. He's committed to the long haul. I think he's on a at least an 8-year contract as general manager. The one thing you can say about Stanford, even though the academic challenge is certainly there, one of the most beautiful campuses in the country, and the weather is legitimately
Phenomenal.
damn near phenomenal year round.
Yeah.
So Frank Reich will get him to the finish line this year, and then it'll be on Luck to really find the next whoever the next guy is that can lead the Cardinal into the future. For this game, Hawaii's favored. It's a long trip from the Bay. Surprisingly, I recently did the flight. San Francisco to Honolulu is still about a 7 hour journey. So Hawaii will be waiting, and I think Hawaii gets the job done. Give it a field goal. Give me the Rainbow Warriors 23-20.
Yeah, give me the Rainbow Warriors as well.
Yep. Give me the Timmy Chains. I'm down.
I will say this: if Luck wants to revitalize that program, he needs to get that quarterback out of the University of Hawaii. That son of a bitch is good, and he can run. He's an option quarterback. I've been watching this kid all summer, and he's our number one recruit going into next season. And I know this kid is good. He's legit. And
I would tell you Hawaii would be good if they had some financial dollars behind them for the NIL and whatnot, because why would you want to leave Hawaii? I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going to
gorgeous.
Maui in October.
I mean, I the only is some like, well, I'm a great quarterback or running back, whatever, and I'm transferring from Hawaii to I'll throw one out here, East Lansing to Michigan State, and the only reason could be money, or I'll throw another, like Iowa City, Iowa. Why would you want to trade blue skies and 80-degree weather year round for 20 degrees and cold, but for money? That would be the only reason.
So we got to get this out there. Just you mentioned this. I need people to understand how depressing Iowa was. I've worked on the road, and I've been in Iowa and Nebraska and the area right around where they're at together, and worked there doing installing telecommunications equipment and so on and so forth many times in the dead of winter. And it's the grayest, windiest, most depressing thing that you've ever seen in your life. It's even worse than Indianapolis, right? And the people that I met in those little towns in that part of the world were different. You know what I'm saying?
Bob, I'm a child born and raised of the Midwest. You don't have to tell me about cold and gray skies, and it's 3:30 in the afternoon. And you're walking home from school, and it's the street lights are on because it's getting dark.
Barbaria. It
You know.
snowed. In Barbaria, it snowed from the end of August to the Barbarian Alps, where I was at twice. It snowed from the end of August to the end of May every year, and it was never as depressing as Iowa.
I will tell you, about 7 years ago in the upper Midwest, and Ed and I are familiar with, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota. When the polar vortex happened in 2017, that week of February, first week of February, I believe, it was colder in the upper Midwest than it was in Alaska in Juneau and Fairbanks, just to give you some perspective there. So, if it wasn't for the money, Hawaii should be a top destination for players, because even when you're not playing whatever sport you're playing, you're at the beach, you're snorkeling, you're parasailing, you're scuba diving, you're deep sea fishing, you're surfing.
Surfing.
I mean, I hope when they finish their stadium there, that they can get back to that level. When Colt Brennan and June Jones were there, they were going to good bowl games and they were exciting to watch. Because Hawaii, if you've ever been there, it's absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't been there, you need to go. I know it's America's toughest state to get to, but it's well worth it. It's really great. Especially Diamond Head. Diamond Head is spectacular.
I never got off Ford Field. I've been there twice and never got off Ford Field. I stood there and watched them refuel our C-130 on the way to Korea and then on the way back.
On the way back, baby. Anybody still need to pick on this game? Who still needs to pick?
Well, I think everybody said Hawaii.
Ed, I think, needs to pick.
Oh yeah, give me
But I don't
give
think it's
me
going to be close.
the opposite of whatever Sean said.
I got Stanford. I think Reich is a good coach.
Yeah, give me Stanford.
I think he got a little bit of a raw deal in Indy. And
he got a raw deal. And how do you get a raw deal in Indy with the Colts? They drafted Anthony Richardson. That was a mistake.
Luck, man.
Okay, so Landon already went. He got his pick in, and then he went to bed.
That's right. He works hard.
Anthony Richardson may turn out to be pretty good if he can stay healthy.
I'm gonna say no on that, and we'll revisit that in 2 years, Ed.
Now, but there's a huge caveat. Quarterbacks with very limited experience in college do not tend to do well in their pro careers. Look at Haskins and Trubisky. So
I'll counterpoint that with Dane on the line. Massage Tingler and Ronnie Bass were at Clemson for 5 years, and I haven't seen them do anything in the NFL yet.
No, but that's a completely different issue. What I'm saying is that you may end up being right about that. But Richardson has more talent than Trubisky and Haskins. Rest R.I.P. to Dwayne.
Well, Haskins is no longer with us. R.I.P. to Haskins.
Make sure you watch
Trubisky
before you walk out in front of a fucking dump truck, kids.
Well, I mean, didn't they say that the guy driving the dump truck was under the influence? I think that's the case. But be that as it may, Trubisky was massively overhyped and overdrafted. In fact, he was drafted before Patrick Mahomes. That just tells you.
I never understood that.
I think we all said on this show, particularly I think Nikki, because Richardson's a Gator, that he left early. He probably needed another year in Gainesville before joining the NFL.
I thought so.
Now, unfortunately for him, you cannot control injuries. I mean, that's I'd like to see him develop more. The issue is he's got to stay healthy, and particularly as a quarterback, you hate to see any sort of injury with the arm, whether it's the elbow, the wrist, the shoulder. So hopefully, I would hope I'm wrong, but right now the track record doesn't look good, Ed. I'm just saying that.
Okay, so we'll revisit next week, guys.
All right,
real week 1 next week, gentlemen.
Real,
ladies.
Yeah. To our fans that asked for those other games, next week we're going to
wait for our next show. Next week,
a real slate of fucking games.
Until then,
we thank our viewers and listeners for checking in, and we thank everyone for being on tonight. I'd like Bruce and Dane being on. Thank you guys. Please come back every week. We appreciate you guys. Bob, as always, you're the legend.
And
so
thanks
Bob,
thanks to Landon, even though you did jump the fuck out to go to bed.
And absolutely. Thank you to Landon. Bob, do you want to close us out here?
Yes, all of our fans, like, share, subscribe. Right, look at our old videos on YouTube if you haven't seen them, and we're going to give you the games next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you for supporting Smacking Off the Podcast.
Make sure to stream in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for an all-new live cast.